Hi, everybody. I'm Lacey Seibert. I'm the VP of Product for our Agribusiness area of the company, and you already got to meet Jake. First, today we're going to talk to you about enablement. So one of the things that everybody in this room probably knows and understands is that relationships are the backbone of ag. But what we're finding out is for the farmer, that's not enough anymore. They really are expecting to see more speed and transparency. They want their information. I don't know if anybody was following the news that came out of Nebraska where they just ruled that the farmers own the information, and there's lots of nuances to trying to understand that. But the point is that the farmers are demanding that. And so over the last year, we've really thought about how can we help the agribusiness customers that we serve understand all of those pieces and really respond and remove the friction that exists to be able to deliver in that way that the farmers are asking. So we've built some new tools. We've improved on some of our tools to really create those efficiencies, reduce the risk, and help you guys see the opportunities that are available in front of you. So we're going to start today by talking about CRM. That's really kind of the place where a lot of the teams start their day. And so let's start there. So in our new CRM experience, we've really designed it to help the teams quickly understand who needs attention, where the opportunities are existing, and what actions should happen next. And so you'll see things like filters that persist or search ability that really helps the team get focused and get moving instead of constantly having to rebuild every time they go in what they're looking for. Another area is account summaries, bringing the most, whoa, my notes just disappeared, everybody. Bringing the most important information to those farmers, or to your staff users, so that they can take action on those insights. And then things like embedded reporting will, again, bring those insights to the forefront. So how we're going to do this is Jake's going to talk through the practicality in the tool, what you'll see, and how you'll experience the CRM. So I'm going to click on this. Oop.
We're going to bring the video up, I think.
Yep, I clicked forward.
We're good. So I wanted to challenge the team to do a sort of product forward demo. So these are all examples of current state of the product, what we've built, how we've designed it. So I told you about this sort of Google search bar. Your landing page is, hey, I can see all my customers I'm working with or customers across the company. I can quickly check in on the tasks I'm working on in the business today. And I'm going to go right back and say, okay, I'm taking care of some of those things. Let me go look up a customer. So right off the bat, I'm going to go look at Mr. Alex. Here's something incredible we've done recently. We've added a huge upgrade to Buddy. You're going to see more about him. He's on GPT 5.5, so we're trusting AI from OpenAI at the moment to do a good job. It's all enterprise level security. It's your data stays with you and your system in bushels. So we're going to say, hey, while I'm looking at Alex's account this morning, I want to get a sentiment of how he's feeling about things after all these, maybe the team's interacting with him, whatever. So I've got history now with Buddy. I can jump back and forth into a conversation. I've got full screen. So I'm going to put Buddy aside and say, okay, Buddy, go get me an idea of where Alex's mind is at based on all the conversations we've been having, his contracts, his activities with us. But most importantly, we've got his demographic information now. So our teams can go in, quickly add demographic information with your crew. Here's an example where we know he's doing a new crop this year. We're doing wheat with him, and so I know he's doing 500 acres. I might know what his yields are. I might know what his percent insured is, and so we're doing all that for you because we're going to do the math quickly to tell you, hey, what's their likely production this year? So when you go and do a filter later, figure out who you need to buy more wheat from, you know who's doing what. And we get this insight. You might get this call with Alex. He might share that with you. You might know about it based on some other insights. Maybe your agronomy team's sharing that information over, hey, we know we planted 500 acres of wheat this year with Alex. That's all super important. What else matters is your bin. What's your storage with that? What's that farmer have for storage? And so we knew Alex got a new North Farm site. He's excited about that because he's got his wheat going in. And so we've got quantity of that storage. You can do your varieties, especially if maybe you're a miller or somebody, you're looking to figure out what varieties you need to find out there in the market that you've talked to your farmers about. All of his bins are now synced up here on his demographics, and we'll show you a little later what we can do with that. The other thing we did, big upgrade, no more clicking 2 or 3 times to find a customer's contract. Boom, right here, right at the top. Contracts, quotes, invoices, and e-sign, all right there in the same profile. This is coming from your ERP system automatically. There's no double entry. We're just giving you quick visuals on where you're at with your customer. You're going to see summaries and open contract reports and all that coming next. Hey, where's all these e-signs at? Hey, finally they're in the same profile where they should be. So I can go to Alex's profile. I've got all of his contracts that we've signed with them. And hey, time to get something else out to him. I can simply pull it up, new contract. Yep, super easy e-sign. I like this. I did this demo.
Yeah, it was you.
So, hey, I grabbed that file. Maybe it's a monster. We're not going to do this one. And we do have limits on purpose because you don't need to be sending those kind of files out to the app. So here we go. I've already signed it, so we're sending that out to Alex. And so you hit that, he gets that signature request out to him. So right from the same interface, you're not leaving anywhere. Remember, Buddy's working on Alex's account right now while we're doing this. And so if you hit that little buddy in the corner, you can check in on him. So we're checking on a couple of reasons why maybe the signature's not been signed. Maybe we've got to remind him, make a call, send a reminder. Here's a few invoices from Alex as well. So hey, what does he owe us? Looks like he's kept up, he's paid up on all of his accounts. Everybody's happy. So Alex is looking good. Now we're going to take a quick note, probably a task actually, to send a follow-up next week. So hey, we've got that quote to deal with, whatever. Let's get going. So you can assign it to your own team. You can assign it to yourself. You can pick a due date. Super easy, all from one place. Hey, we're working with Alex today. This is making sense. I've got that task now available to me. And again, his whole profile. The other fun piece, you can jump in here. I can go in and quickly check on Alex's prepaids through that customer view. We'll have prepaids in that tab as well pretty quick. And so I can see, hey, where's he at on all of his bookings? We're talking about fertilizer. What else do we got to work through? And for Alex, he can see that fertilizer quote is now available, and I'll show you his view as well. So it makes it super easy for your customer to know you've got a quote out there, you sent them an e-sign, you've got their contracts up to date, and oh, Buddy's been working on this for us. Let's see what Buddy has on Alex's sentiment. So it's going to talk a little bit about how much business we're doing with him, how often we've engaged, and it's going to pull from these notes. It's going to say, hey, he's pretty positive on the grain marketing side. He's got active interest in urea right now, and he's looking at propane solve. Just really quick relationship health status, easy peasy. You just ask Buddy for help, you get to work, and you come back and you've got a good sense of, hey, here's what Buddy thinks you should be doing next. Let's talk through those prepay concerns he mentioned on the notes. And you can give Buddy a little feedback. Hey, good job. Thank you, Buddy. Give him the thumbs up. So I wouldn't waste credits typing great, but I did. That's on us. So there you go. So that's a little bit about what we're doing in the same CRM interface, making it just dead simple for your team to work across your customers. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the end.
Yeah, we're good. Let's get to the next.
Yeah, so from there, you learn about things that need to be happening or those tasks that got created, and generally the next step is reaching out to a farmer. And so what we know is that you guys are doing that in lots of different ways, whether you have people who are going on the farm or people calling or people texting, or I mean, I could keep going with all the ways that we're trying to communicate with farmers. And so what our team has done is say, how can we enable that inside of the tools that you guys were just seeing? And so we've created what's called outreach, where basically you can segment customers, build campaigns, communicate through SMS, email, or push notifications directly with the farmer on their phone, anytime, anywhere. So the goal is really not to send more communication, it's to send targeted communication at the right time and make it the most efficient way for your team to do that. So I'm gonna pause here and let Jake show you guys how that looks.
Yeah, so one of the things that's been missing from us is how do we do messaging across email, texting, and notifications in the app. We've been pro mobile app because notifications are free for y'all. But the texting matters too, right? And people, sometimes they just want to get a text. So you'll see in a minute, we show preferences, but it's really easy now going forward in Bushel to just pop a notification. You're gonna be able to do this from a customer profile. You're gonna be able to create a group. Hey, we're doing the buddy seat, reach out. It could be the corn guys. Whatever you want to do in terms of customizing who you're messaging and what kind of groups, and it's kind of an unlimited ability to do that. We're going to send a message out to all the buddy attendees here as an example. These are going to be a very targeted. So if we want to send a text, email, and a push notification, if that customer says, hey, I only want to get texts or I only want to get notifications, we're going to respect all that. And so they'll be able to manage their own ways in which you get information out to them. Super easy. You can schedule these. You can schedule as many planned notifications as you want. You can send immediately. Let's say I got to fill a train this morning. I've got maybe a little bit of a basis offer I want to get out there to all my corn guys, or maybe just the guys I know have got bins right now. And I'm going to send that group message out, and they're going to get it in their app and say, you know, the agribusiness reaching out, Arthur Companies is looking to buy corn right now. Let's get stuff delivered today. Super easy. So you'll see a history. Your team can see all your notifications you're sending out throughout the company, but then you'll also be able to go into those individual profiles or lists and start building out who you want to reach out to and get things boogieing. So it's pretty easy, but for a long time, those things have been disconnected in some of our tools. And again, our focus is how do we make this a single workflow for your team? How do you let the customer opt into their preferences? So your farmer's going to say, hey, I want to get texted whenever we're talking quotes, but I'm good getting notifications on any kind of bid alerts, right? And so we're going to give that power to your farmer and your team to decide how you want to interact.
Right. So once you've sent all these outreach communications, hopefully you've gotten some new interest. And the next step is that you're going to create quotes, or your farmers are going to want to see your pricing around different products. And so I think we showed some of the quoting that we had last year, but we've really gone in and done some improvements around how that works. So now your teams can quickly create those quotes, they can manage the pricing, they can track quote history. One of the things I always talk about is if you're doing quoting manually or verbally or on a piece of paper, you lose that year over year. And there's a lot of really valuable information if you keep that historical, let's call it negotiation back and forth between the business and the farmer, because you can really talk to the farmer about the decisions that they made last year and why their pricing was the way it was because of those decisions. And let's coach them up to be making better, more proactive decisions in the future. And so having that history helps your team be enabled to do that and have those conversations. And then on the flip side of that, the farmer can initiate and request quotes from you. They can look at your price list and understand what you guys are offering and ask for you to get a hold of them or ask for you to approve a quote. So it really creates this great flow between you and your farmers to be able to book business. And so Jake's gonna show you what that looks like.
So we're gonna use my example here today. We're going to talk a little bit about fertilizer pricing. Don't mind the price. Everybody's going to be offended at this price because this is significantly better than where we're at today. That's just what we're going with. So I'm going to be back in a profile of a customer, and I can see any kind of pending history of quotes that we've done with this Mr. Jake. And maybe we've got a note that somebody's asking for us to follow up and get a fertilizer quote out to him. The farmer also can request a quote from you proactively, but we're going to start by creating a quote on this user right now. So I've got Jake's account up, and he might have 3 different farms, right? So you've got 3 different LCs you're working with, whatever it might be. We automatically filter that all down for you. All you have to do is pick the one that you're working with today. You're going to pick maybe a crop. Again, some of these fields are required, some of them aren't. If you're just doing a quote for energy, you don't have to have a crop required there. We're doing a corn fertilizer quote for 27. We're going to put a creation date. You can schedule a quote to go out, or you can just set it for today that you've created it. So I'm going to say we're sending this out today, but we're going to have an expiration at the end of the month. And we're going to do some urea here, and we're going to do probably 20 tons, right? Yeah, for that kind of acreage on corn. And again, your price lists are synced into the tool, so you've already got price there. That just auto calculates. You can do discounts and stuff we'll show you in a second, but this is the note. As you send this quote out, this note, the comment for the customer, they're going to see that in the quote from your team, so that can be a part of the message you're sending. Hey, we talked about this, making sure we're good. Internally, you want to have those notes. What did we negotiate? Hey, we're kind of willing to do whatever it takes to get this business. Just so everybody knows, send it. And so that's how you think about private and the public customer comments in there, and those are saved historically for your team. We've got all kinds of service add-ons you can do. Maybe you're doing picked up or delivered. Maybe you're doing applications themselves. You've got options for delivery date requests if you've talked about it with the farmer. And everything I'm showing you while I go through this, completely on your own customer mobile app too. So your team logs in as a staff user, and this whole interface is on your app. So you could be out there talking through this with the farmer right now. You don't have to be back at the desk, pulling up the computer. Everything is mobile responsive that we do at Bushel, so everything works from the device, the same as it does on here. Doing a quick review of this quote for about 12 grand, and now I've got options. Email it, notify the customer, so I know they've got the app. It tells me that he does, so I just sent them a notification, and then I downloaded the quote itself. So this will have your brand on it, how you format stuff. You can have some of your legal language and stuff in here as well, and we'll show you now. I can, of course, go back and manage, edit any of those things, but this quote is now out and pending for Jake. And so I'm going to flip here in a second to what the farmer experience looks like. So here I am in your mobile app. I've seen now a notification come through. I just clicked into quotes, and here's my 27 fertilizer quote given from your crew. Now I can just quickly accept it if we just talked about it, or I can do a quick review and say, okay, am I happy with this? What's fun is we went from being, hey, this is a quote, to when they accept, this can be a legally binding acceptance for a booking now. So you can say, hey, we want to be able to have our legal language in here for the agreement. You can say it's not binding, or you can say it is binding. And that's however you want to do your bookings, right? And so you've just got yourself a new fertilizer booking there. And so as simple as that, back at the staff side, it's, hey, it's been accepted. You got an email notification to your staff team that, hey, this one's been booked. Now Jake's thinking, okay, hey, I've also got to do some wheat here yet. I just realized, so I'm going to go and do a quote request now. So I'm proactively as a farmer going to ask, hey, I'm looking for stuff for 27. Maybe I don't really care what I call this, and maybe I have a product that I know you have, so I can search it right here, and I can say, hey, I'm looking for some seed from Pioneer. Maybe I'm like, I'd like to know what other options I've got, so maybe I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to actually delete that seed request. I'm just going to put in the comments, hey, I'm looking for seed options for my wheat plant. Let's get this figured out together. I should probably spell seed right. There we go. And so it's as easy as this. So your farmers can proactively request. Today we don't show your price to the farmer. They have to request, and then you have to respond with the offer that you're going to do. And I think most people like it that way. There is certainly an opportunity here to say, hey, do you want to show at value, face value pricing to the customer? We could do that. Today, everybody's saying, now we'd like to quote it first to get it out to them. So there you go. And it's as simple as that. Now your team just got an email notification that Jake's requested a new quote for wheat after you've already got a fertilizer quote accepted. I don't think it gets easier than that. And you get that, they can have that sent on to the billing team to get the invoicing set up. We're working on price discounting. We're working on finance programs to be added to that, so you can do your discounting more automatically. Right now, you do a manual discount because you're going to do JDF or something like that. So that's how we're doing it, and I think it's pretty easy. It's getting pretty good.
Yeah. And I think if you think about the other side of that, so once the farmer grows the crop, then they're going to be trying to sell it to you, hopefully. And, you know, a couple of the first rules of grain origination is always have a bid for the farmer if they're ready, and be responsive, because sometimes they're pretty impulsive about that. And so that's exactly what we have figured out with Make Offer. So essentially, your team's not having to field all these calls or missed voicemails. Whenever the farmer's ready to make an offer and sell you grain, they just pull out their phone and put it in there. One of the biggest pain points that we hear is after the offer fills, though, then my team is having to go enter a contract into the ERP, and then If it's a HTA or a basis contract, then we have to manage the second leg of that pricing and do all of the steps that come thereafter. It's like kind of like when the real work starts. And so we've spent some time working on that. We're going to show you here in just a second some of those contract workflow updates and how we're going to create better visibility into that process for you and make it to where your staff can really focus on paying attention to what needs to happen instead of doing a bunch of manual work there.
One of the things I'm really proud of is our team's gotten the integrations available for our ERP partners, so we can push contract information right to your workflow. Nobody has to do the double entry. And so some of the major ERPs you work with, our partners that are here today, we've largely got that accomplished with all of them, and we can do it with everybody else. So here's an offer flow today. Again, farmer can do this from your app. They can do it online. I'm going to do a cash offer. It already knows what accounts I'm working in. And so maybe I've got a target I'm going to put out there of 520, and I'm going to do my bushel quantity. I'm going to do 5,000 bushel offer. If I've got grain in open storage, I can say, hey, this comment, I want this to come from my open storage pricing. Your team will see that come across when they get the offer. And so you guys can go and apply it that way if that's what they're looking for. The farmer has to agree to your terms and conditions as a final check. They're just double checking what that offer looks like, and it's submitted. My favorite part is the confetti. We always have to have confetti. Thank you for doing an offer. Thank you, Mr. Farmer.
Positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement. Keep doing that. You should sell your grain, and preferably before harvest.
Yeah.
So now the farmer has control, right? They know what their offers are sitting out there. They can go and edit an offer. Look, the market's gone up, and this turns out this is a good till close offer, so we're going to raise it 10 cents because the market's getting too close to what I wanted to sell it for, and now I want to go up. So this happens a lot, but what we found is that if farmers can feel that they're in control and they can edit the offer or they can withdraw it, they generally don't change it and they let it ride. But they feel that it's up to them, and they don't have to have somebody in the office to call. If you're not there, they can do it in the middle of the night, and that sense of control is really meaningful for the farmer. And so their ability to go and execute on this stuff is much higher. So the other piece of this, staff team, we keep talking about how do we improve that staff workflow. This is we've not shown anybody this before.
No, this is
our newest work on contract management. So being able to let your team inside their bushel tool, out in the field, with the farmer, back at the office, wherever, create a contract for a customer. All the different types of contracts you're working with, all of your fees and structures can be in here. And so we're doing an example right now. We're going to create a demo offer for an HTA, I think we ended up doing, or maybe we do a cash offer at the end. Yes, we'll do a cash offer. We're going to do delivery period selection. We make sure we're comfortable with all that. And this might be, hey, farmer just agreed, we're going to get this contracted, and you're just going to put it in. And so you go through that workflow. You can submit the offer for them. You can go and create one at market. You've got all kinds of options. And so this is going to be right inside of your staff tool. Your team can go through all the delivery information you need to have, which facilities you're delivering to, what are we doing it, are we doing it on truck, the whole thing. And what's great about this is it's completely flexible to how you do structures. And so you'll see this work with your ERP workflow. You'll see this be easy to do on the mobile app. So if your team's out in the field with that farmer and you just agreed to buy some corn, you can do it right through the staff tool. And so no longer having to go back to the office and put those things in after the fact. Pretty easy. Splits and everything are going to be covered in here. So
yeah.
What else do I care about on this, Lacey?
I think that this is good. So all of this is really getting at how we can get you guys doing the right things in an easy and efficient way, and also helping you guys see what needs to be done. And so the next episode of this little thing that we've got going on later this afternoon, we'll be talking about how you guys can see all of this data and do something with it that's meaningful. So we would love for you to scan the QR code and give us any feedback about what you saw, or stop by the demo stations and get a little bit closer look if you have questions. And I think we are going to a break.
Yeah, so real quick on this QR code, if you scan this, any of the sessions throughout the day, same code, you can switch and say, hey, I want to give some feedback on what I saw on that offer management demo or that contract creation, or I want to give feedback on CRM. Scan this, click the session you want to give some feedback on, and hit us with it. and we'll review all that stuff and follow up with you guys later. So that's what that